Move on to something sporty now. Has the middleweight supersport motorcycle segment improved in India over the past 10 years? Now, the answer to that is a loaded one. So, our friends at Overdrive put a decade-old Triumph Daytona against the 2024 Kawasaki ZX6R. And this is how it went.
If you are shopping in the middleweight supersport category, often characterized as the 600s, your search will inevitably lead you to a Kawasaki dealership in India because the ZX6R is your only option. Of course, the tide may change in the future. You might have one more option should Honda introduce the tempting new CBR 600RR to our shores. If you want something mellower, something that's easier, more comfortable, then you could look at something like the Ninja 650 from the same stable, or something like the Honda CBR 650R if you want twice the cylinders. And looking over the horizon, there are vehicles like the Yamaha R7 and the ridiculous Triumph Daytona 660, which are going to sort of give you some bit of a promise. Now, this scenario reminds me of exactly 10 years back when the Daytona 675R was the only middleweight supersport option that you had in the country. A decade since, have things really evolved? Has the supersport genre in the middleweight segment really gone ahead by leaps and bounds?
With changing market demands, technological advancements and regulatory pressures, manufacturers have often been forced to adapt and evolve their offerings.
Apart from being middleweight supersport machines, there's another common thread for these two motorcycles. Both of them go against the convention and employ unconventional engine configurations when you compare it to the typical 599cc inline-4 configuration that we see in the supersport segment.
The Triumph Daytona 675 boasts of a potent 675cc three-cylinder engine, delivering around 126 horsepower. This power plant, while not as outright powerful as some of its competitors, offers a unique blend of torque-rich performance and a linear power delivery. Triumph's engineering prowess is evident in the Daytona 675's short-stroke design, top-notch components, and a refined tuning, resulting in exhilarating performance on both the street as well as the track. The engine's ability to rev freely and eagerly rewards riders with a thrilling riding experience, making it a favorite among enthusiasts seeking a dynamic edge.
In fact, this engine is so good that it has laid the foundation for all the 660cc entry-level Triumphs, all the way up to the 765, the Street Triple RS, and even the Moto 3 machines. In fact, that Street Triple RS, as we found out last year in our ride at Jerez, it's such a good track machine, such a potent track machine and a potent all-rounder that I'm not surprised it has led to the death of this track-bred Daytona. I know the Daytona 660 is not the successor to this motorcycle. That's...
In contrast to Triumph's Triple, the 2024 Kawasaki ZX6R inherits the legacy of its predecessors, featuring a 636cc inline-4 power plant. While the engine configuration has been the staple of the ZX6R lineup for years now, the 2024 iteration, however, fails to deliver significant advancements in power output or technological innovation, boasting of a mere 129 PS, which is humble for a gap of 10 years.
For 2024, in fact, the ZX6R loses a horsepower or two because it uses different camshafts with a lower lift profile, shorter duration, etc. compared to its predecessor. The gains are, of course, in the emissions department because this is now compliant with the stricter emission standards.
With no option for a larger engine displacement, the ZX6R relies on innovative solutions like these to meet emission requirements. This also includes a revised exhaust layout featuring a larger exhaust pre-chamber and a revised positioning for the O2 sensor closer to the exhaust ports, facilitating more efficient readings and cleaner combustion. It isn't a very fuel-efficient motor though, and we struggle to go beyond 13 km to a litre on our spirited rides, while the Daytona still managed about 17 km to a litre consistently.
The ZX6R offers a really respectable performance, no complaints against that. But it lacks the grunt, the peppiness, that aggression that you get with the Daytona. The low-end performance is much better on the ZX6R, but when it comes to the mid-range or the top end, it doesn't feel as sharp as the Daytona. Both of these engines have a 15,000 RPM red line. The Daytona's engine will scream all its way to the red line, and even in the top gear, it managed to reach in that similar zone. However, for top gear on this motorcycle, after about 13,000 RPM, the performance just seems to taper down. Those final 2,000 RPM or so, it just feels a bit hollow.
All right.